I have a specific column setup that I like. Let's go through that right now, just so we can get an idea of what your columns should look like, or what you can. This is not like a go-to, you have to do this, but this is what I use, and I've been using this for several years, and it works best for me. The first thing that I like to choose is I like to have my budget there, because now that we have campaign budget optimizations, this is really good for you to see a high level. Okay, what is my actual campaign budget? I like to see amount spent next, and you'll notice that each of these I have separated specifically so that I can see like they make sense to each other, like budget and amount spent. Like I want to know those things. The ROAS, I use ROAS. A lot of our clients are on a ROAS, return on ad spend KPI goal, so I like to see that right next to amount spent, so I know if I'm spending, underspending, overspending. And then purchases, cost per purchase, add to cart, cost per add to cart, link clicks, and this is specifically link clicks. This isn't all clicks, because link clicks are specific to a link on the ad, whereas all clicks can be, hey, if I liked it, or I commented, or I clicked through on the actual ad, that would be considered all clicks, but I want specific link clicks. And I'll do the same thing for what I want my cost per click. So I want cost per link click, not cost per all click. It's very important that you understand the difference there. Click-through rate, so, and this is again link click-through rate. So of my impressions, it's clicks divided by impressions. So of my impressions, how many of those impressions drove clicks? CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, purchase conversion value, leads, cost per lead, frequency, and reach. If you don't know the difference between these, frequency is how often that someone is going to actually see your ad within that campaign. So if say you got a retargeting audience, one user might see that 3 times, so that would be like a frequency of 3, but they blend it over a number of users. So you want your prospecting to never really go over like a 1.2. That if it is going over a 1.2 in frequency, that means that you are actually targeting people that are in your retargeting audiences or engagement, or you've targeted them somewhere else, that they're seeing your ads more frequently. They should only see them once if that's a prospecting ad, but we'll get a little bit more into that. And then so reach is actually the number of people that your ads actually reach, the actual number. And that's also good to know the difference between reach and impressions. So here you'll see reach is 66,315, but my impressions is 66,713. That's because there's an additional probably 300 people or so that are in our retargeting audiences that we're continuing to advertise to, and impressions is going to go way up there. So this is how I set up my columns. I like them this way because I can read the data. I encourage you to set up the columns this way. If you don't know how to set up the columns, you'll simply go over to columns, click customize column. So this will come up, and you can search anything that you want here, and you can actually move them around over here. So if you wanted to, if you found other metrics important to your business, you can totally put them in here. But this is where you'll find them all. You'll check them off and add them over here. You'll notice that for purchases and add to cart, I don't actually click each of these. I just leave them unchecked so that they all just go into this. If this is important to you, it is important for certain businesses to know what a website purchase or what an offline purchase is, or an on Facebook purchase. It adds too many columns for me specifically, so I don't like them. But if you like having that granular data, you can totally add that in there. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff in here. If you have custom events, you can add the custom events in here. If we scroll down and go over to the purchases section, so that we can, you'll see here that, so this is a little bit different than how it used to look. Before you used to just click purchases and add to cart and all that. Now in here you can actually click different stuff. So for purchases, if I want to see the total amount of purchases, the value of the purchases, and the cost per purchase, all you got to do is check these little boxes there. So after you add all of those columns in and organize them the way that you want, if you want to organize them the way that I did, you can watch them in this video. But of course, you can use them however it's easy for you to read data. And then down here, you can click Save as a Preset. And then you can put your name, and then you can just click Apply, and it'll save it. This is very important. A lot of people will set these up and they'll just completely forget, so it's very important to save as a preset. It's going to be very annoying for you to have to like go back and set this every time you want to read your data. So I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to create another one. Another really good thing to know here is if you have multiple ad accounts and you're going in between them, if you actually set up these columns on one and you pull it up and you go to another ad account that doesn't have columns saved, you can actually you'll see it's already saved on the top. It says custom. So you can just click here, click customize columns, and that same chart is going to come up, and instead of touching anything, it's actually going to preset what you had from the previous one, and you can just go right to the bottom and click Save as a Preset. Type in your name or however you want to name it, and then click Apply, and you're good to go. Then there is times where if you jump between different ad accounts, you might not actually, it might change the columns on top. That's okay, just go back to the original ad account that you have the custom column in, and change it to your whatever you have the saved preset as, and then go back to that other ad account, and it should be at the top. You might have to do it 2 or 3 times. I've seen it just jump around before, but if you just do it, it's pretty easy that way. That way you don't have to, if you have like me, I have like 40 different ad accounts, or every time I bring on a new client, I don't have to like go in there and move all the columns around. I just go to a preset one, change it to my name, and then go to the new ad account, and it's already there, and I just click it save, and it's really, really easy. So that's how I set up my columns, and I think that you should set these up too, because it'll be really, really easy for you to read the data.